We're here on the Euro Yen, and this is a trade that I've just got in. It's a lovely double bottom coming into major structure, but it's also a head and shoulders with higher time frame confirmation as well. So 20 pips here, a little bit more than that actually, for about 40 of reward, and target 2 is around 90. So I am going to do the higher time frame analysis here and just talk through this this nice trading opportunity. So what we've been doing here is price has slowly been working its way up. You can see here, and if I put a structure level on at these highs right here, then yesterday you can see here on the dailies we had a higher high, higher close. Now where then can we go to? Well, we could look at coming to the closes of the candles on the daily time frame, which is just here, which is also around the 12700 psychological number. So we have our bias on the daily, and that is that I only want to be long. So let's go down to the 240 time frame. Now here on the 240, not that much, but you can see new high, outside return, new high, outside return, new high. So we excuse me, we would then be looking for a pullback and a chance to get long. So let's go and take a look at the 60. So here on the 60, if we put a structure level on just here, move that down just a little bit, you can see we've got a double test here, a test, 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 test. So quite a nice area here that's been tested quite a few times, and we know that we only want to be bullish. Now the problem with this, that this double bottom is not valid for me because no RSI confirmation. The RSI needed to be oversold, so there's nothing here on the 60 for me. However, let's go to the 15 and take a look at the 15. I'm just going to move this structure level down a little bit, so you can still see we have a double bottom. This time we do have the RSI confirmation, so we've gone oversold at about 17 there. We've got divergence, and if we look at these various structure levels, you can see we've got several areas that we'd already pointed out, but these are quite key areas here on the 15. I didn't actually check any further left. Yeah, there's another key area right there. So a very nice area here where we could see that reaction. Now I'd actually missed this double bottom, but what we also have, if we're looking at the market turning, so we know that we've had the break above, close above on the daily, but we've been making our way lower, then what we need is for that movement lower to stop and turn and to start going higher again. And there's generally three ways that happens. One is a head and shoulders, two is a double bottom, or three is just a V point. So we come straight down and we go straight back up. The double bottom we've already got here, as you can see, and the head and shoulders, which we also have, is this. So we've got a nice fairly directional move. We see a pullback before we come down to test structure. We then see another push, and that comes to test that structure level. And then very importantly, this move here violates the previous outside return, making this an initial structure high. So this is an indication here of a potential rotation, indicating we can go higher. So just to clarify this now, we have a double bottom, we have structure that's been tested here a minimum of 5 times, but if you class these other two as well, that's now 7. We've got initial structure high where we violated structure, and the double bottom as well. So what I then do is I highlight this area, the wicks of the left shoulder, and I say to myself, well, if price was to reverse, it's very likely that we're going to reverse into the wicks, and from there we will see the pop to the upside. So if I bring back on the orders, you can see that's actually where I got involved, and that just so happens to be a 61.8 fib as well. We've just actually come down to that fib level. So stops here beneath this double bottom and ATR beneath it, which is 7 pips. Need to be 1 pip lower there. And then what I'm going to do here is just go out to the 60. So 2 targets here. The first target is playing for a retest of the candle closes, and secondary targets is, if I go out to the daily, that higher structure level which we talked about initially, which is right here, which is the closes of the daily candles. Now if you do drop down to the 240 and we take a look at this, then we can see that right at the very tops here where the candles close on the 240 is still where my structure line is. I'm actually just going to bring that down a little bit because I actually want to take targets before the closes of the candles. We do have this 12700 psychological number, but to get that we would be shooting for within the wicks, and that's a little bit too aggressive for me. So I'm actually just going to bring, yeah, no, that's absolutely fine where I am for secondary targets. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we have a very, very nice reward to risk on this particular trade. So I'm going to go to the 15 because this is really where we can see everything. And in actual fact, just before I work this out, there's just something I want to talk through on here. So we've talked about the double bottom, the head and shoulders. There is more going on this trade as well, and if we just drop to the 5 minute, and I just want to show you this, we've got some advanced patterns that happened in this zone. So here on the 5, we've got first of all another double bottom just here. Here on the 5 we've got another double bottom. We also have a cipher pattern which just so happened to have won, and so really you can really see the market is adhering to these fib levels with the advanced patterns. It's adhering to structure because on the 5 we've got 2 small 5 minute double bottoms as well. So really it's just an indication here that structure is holding and it's adhering to fibs, which is what we love to see if we're entering a trade, particularly if we're using fibs and structure to enter in trades. So I've waffled on there for quite a bit. Let's work out this reward to risk. So I'm going to make this risk red, like that. The reward is going to be in green. We'll make that one green, and target 2s, which is our higher structure level on the daily, going to make that one yellow. So in terms of pips, we are looking at a risk of 23. We're looking at a reward of around 40, so just less than a 2-to-1 there. And secondary targets are lovely 93 pips. And we're